Hello everyone, this is Kurt Monday from the Investigram team. Welcome to our new video. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I got to know while reading the earnings call transcript. While reading a book, before you get to understand how people talk, their mannerisms, and their thought process, there was something that I read is very important. Let's go over that. Stay tuned to know what I think it actually means. Before we discuss about the earnings call transcript, I want to mention a few things in this video. Let's take a look at one article. Young retail investors plan to spend half of their stimulus checks on stocks, according to a Deutsch survey. This seems funny because a couple of weeks back, we were discussing about the stimulus. I had predicted that several people would be investing some of their stimulus, even if not all of it, into purchasing more stocks. Many of them might have thought that I was wrong. People require this money to meet their basic needs. While several Americans would certainly need that money so that they can provide for themselves and their families, there are many others who might make less than $75,000 per year that would still have a significant amount of money in their savings than they did before the pandemic. This is according to studies. These are the individuals who are ready to spend $500 to $600 on new outfits or a down payment for a car and so on. However, a part of that money is likely to be planned for investing in stocks. When I went through this article, I knew that this was likely to be happening. It says an online survey of 430 investors using online broker platforms found that more than 50% of respondents between 25 and 34 years plan to spend half of their stimulus. Let's check out another article by Forbes, which says $190 billion of stimulus money could go into the stock market. It also says that retail traders have undoubtedly been greatly active after the COVID-19 pandemic. If the stimulus check money happens to enter the stock market, it's certain that the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq may record new highs. The last sentence that stares at inflation and bond yields are very important because it can have a great impact on the market. However, it says the stock market will not be concerned about the increasing bond yields and inflation, as this new money is likely to instill a fighting spirit in retail traders. This is good because it implies as rates increase, the market is not likely to be able to be hit, and that doesn't go just for anyone having AMC. It's all your stock, especially your tech stocks. So, I just want to point out that $190 billion is a huge amount of money. I can assure you that for each of you who have invested in stocks, AMC is going to be beneficial. I want to mention a few more things before we get into the earnings call transcript. This is something that was posted all over the internet. It has to do with the Fidelity Probability Calculator, which shows that AMC could cross 900 in 90 days. After doing a little bit of research, I found that it's Handwick Associates, an independent company that is not affiliated with Fidelity. They use vendor data based on demand and supply so that they can come up with some of their probability calculations. Every stock says it will reach the moon, and Apple was once a bit more realistic as demand and supply is what drives the probability calculators. Looking at the various predictions on various sites, I've gotten in the habit of taking all these forecasts with a grain of salt. I don't let my opinions sway either way just by looking at it. But it is ironic to see what its potential could be like. However, AMC continues to be an upsurge. Forget the amount of dollars at that point. But as I said, it's more about the demand and supply. If we break down the basic business, it shows that there is an increase in demand while the supply is less. This is a good sign because it means more individuals are holding stocks and adding a lot more to their possessions and are not selling. This is good news. Lastly, let's get into this article. As I said before, when you are reading a book, you understand how they speak, what their mannerisms are, and so on. This is what actually hit me. It reads, "Our ATM equity offerings have raised approximately $870 million on the issuance of approximately 270 million shares now." The entire first section discusses their financial position. It brings up the Reddit rally and talks about the $1 billion that they raised in cash on hand. They said as much as they were bullish is exactly about what happened. They are thankful that all those who have opted in to invest in the stock. A significant amount of that money was net capital cash and was raised before December 31st. However, this goes on a bit further about when their financials are, how much they are burning, and so on. Then it talks about Silver Lake and not being indebted to them. At last, he briefly says, before handing back the call over, that there has been an increased interest in the number of outstanding AMC shares. As of March 3, 2021, the count of total outstanding shares is 450 million shares. As we move ahead of 2020, we are going forward with renewed confidence that AMC and our industry has turned the corner. So, this person is discussing all about their financials, reasons why it's a high choice, how they are dealing with it, and other such things. They have to report to their boards to retain their jobs, and lastly, he puts it forward due to his great interest. If you actually read this and get to understand the dialogue of what you are going through, it is really strange to kind of happen. So, it's very interesting that he makes a specific point to discuss the number of outstanding shares. If you don't happen to understand it fully as to what outstanding shares are, any authorized shares sold to or held by a corporation, exclusive treasury stock held by a company, is called outstanding shares. In simple words, the number of outstanding shares indicates the amount of stock on the open market, including those held by institutional investors, limited shares, and so on. The outstanding shares of a company can fluctuate for several reasons. The number will raise if the company issues extra shares and will reduce if they indulge in a stock buyback. When we discuss about the number of synthetic shares that are possible out there, the ones that the hedge funds have problems in order to be able to short the stock, we are looking at 162 million. That does not imply all those are synthetic shares. There could be several other factors, but I found what's more important, and what I want you all to take from this, is it's not just the number of 450 versus 278, which should be issuance. Just read this fully and understand what I'm trying to convey. Understand why he made a certain point to chuck this out, why seeking alpha for which you would need a paid or paper subscription to read. Several of these articles do not have this because I don't pay for it. That's it for this video, guys. Take all the information with a grain of salt. Hope will continue to be bigger this week. We have continued to close week on week higher for the previous 5 weeks. I'm quite excited to see where this goes, especially because quadruple witching is known for in the past for all stocks. A higher volume is likely to happen, which we know that we have wanted from the starting for AMC. So guys, let's wind up this video. Share your views in the comments section below. If you find this information valuable, like this video and share it.